I never set out to ruin anyone's life. But when I saw Marty Vane's trembling hands signing over her life savings to me, I knew I was leading her down a path where there'd be no turning back. I'm not a con artist by trade. In fact, I'm what they call an architect, both literally and figuratively, it turns out. My life had been a series of blueprints and hard hats until I found myself sitting across from Marty in that dimly lit cafe, selling her dreams I had no intention of building. It started 6 months ago when I lost my job at Novum Designs. A casualty of corporate downsizing, they called it. I had given them 10 years, sketched entire cityscapes that had come to life brick by brick. But one Monday morning, they handed me a severance package and sent me packing. I should have been outraged, but instead I felt numb. My career had been my identity, the one thing I'd latched onto since my father told me girls couldn't build skyscrapers. Ironic, right? I proved him wrong, only to be dismantled myself. Sitting in my tiny apartment, I spiraled into of self-pity and desperation. Bills piled up, and I entertained the thought of selling furniture to make rent. It wasn't long before I stumbled upon the idea of starting my own project. But breaking into the industry without backing is like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall. I needed investors. That's when Marty came into my life. We met at a Women in Business networking event. The hostess introduced Marty as a successful entrepreneur in local retail, and she seemed enamored by my tales of architectural prowess. I spun stories of innovative, eco-friendly developments, sustainable designs that would revolutionize urban living. Her eyes sparkled, and I could almost see the dollar signs flipping in her mind. It was intoxicating, being back in the game, even if only in my imagination. Shortly after, we began meeting regularly. I sketched out mock designs on napkins, elaborate enough to look convincing, yet vague enough to be merely wishful thinking. Each time I presented these, I felt a twinge of guilt. It was flimsy paper architecture in every sense. Marty offered to invest, of course, seeing it as a chance to diversify her portfolio. I should have said no, told her the truth about my circumstances, but I didn't. I was too far in, the taste of potential success too sweet to spit out. When she finally brought up using her life savings, my stomach dropped. I tried to deflect, suggesting we start small, but she insisted. Marty was all in. I remember staring at the dotted line, the weight of the pen in her hand matching the heaviness in my chest. My voice faltered as I reminded her of the risks. Yet she was unwavering, filled with a naive optimism that I both envied and despised. Days turned into weeks, and I fabricated progress reports, complete with timelines and jargon-heavy updates. Whenever she asked for site visits or meetings with contractors, I deftly maneuvered around them with excuses steeped in plausibility. But each lie wove a tighter noose around my neck. Night after night, guilt gnawed at me, its sharp teeth reminding me of the impending fallout. It wasn't long before Marty started asking more pointed questions. Something had shifted, perhaps a tone of uncertainty in my voice or a detail I failed to cover. She asked about our permits, the land titles, requesting to speak with other stakeholders. Realizing my facade was crumbling, I hastily arranged a meeting with an acquaintance from my former life, bribing him to stand in as a project manager. During this meeting, Marty appeared confident, but I could sense her unease, a subtle tremor under her usually calm demeanor. She scrutinized the documents I presented, and my heart raced every time her eyebrows furrowed in concentration. I was trapped in a game of chess, each move more precarious than the last. How long could I keep this up? If you're loving this story, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss another one. The collapse came sooner than expected. A week later, Marty called, her voice thick with skepticism. She'd done some digging, talked to people in the industry, and found no trace of permits or land acquisitions under my supposed company. Panic gripped me, a cold sweat beading on my forehead. I spluttered through a series of half-baked explanations, but she cut me off, her voice tinged with betrayal. "You lied, Nyra. I trusted you," she said, each word a dagger. I tried to apologize, to explain the pressures that had driven me to deceive her, but it all came out wrong. She hung up, leaving me in a silence that screamed my failure. In the following days, I received a letter from her lawyer. She was suing me for fraud. It's a miracle charges weren't filed, perhaps a testament to her belief that deep down, I wasn't malicious, just desperate. That was small comfort as I sat in my empty apartment, the walls closing in. I was worse than broke. I was broken. Eventually, I found myself back at that same cafe, alone this time. The ghost of our meetings haunted every corner, her laughter, once melodic, now a reminder of my deceit. I stirred sugar into my coffee, watching it dissolve as I contemplated how to rebuild. Not buildings or grand visions, but my integrity, piece by fragile piece. Marty's voice on the phone still echoes in my mind, a reminder of the person I never want to be again. She was the architect of her dreams, and I became the architect of her fall. I lost more than a career. I lost a part of myself I'll never reclaim. Today, I'm working on construction sites again, as a laborer, not an architect. It's my way of starting over, grounding myself in reality. No more illusions. Marty deserved better, and as I lift each brick, I wonder if someday I'll build something real enough to make amends. But for now, I live with the consequences, and it's a heavy burden to bear. I don't know if Marty will ever forgive me, or if we'll cross paths again. Maybe one day, I'll have the courage to reach out to show her that people can change. Until then, I'll keep working, each day a step towards redemption, and maybe, just maybe, I'll find a blueprint for my own integrity hidden among the rubble of the past.